Hello inspiring Charitam fans. How are you doing? We bring stories that are unique and inspirational. This story is about a man who was betrayed by two of the closest people. But the burden of the truth was so heavy that it changed him forever. Let's hear it. Cooper was a very hard-working man. He always aimed to be a role model for others. He worked hard for everything. His companion was his wife, Quinn. He and Quinn met in high school. They were friends at first, but after Quinn broke off with her boyfriend, they started dating. It has been a steady relationship since then. They cared for each other and looked after their needs. They were married when they were 25. It was a destination wedding and everything looked perfect. They were happy and were doing well. However, financially they were struggling. Quinn lost her job due to the 2008 recession and the business Cooper owned also struggled. They were not in the best place. They were staying in the house which Cooper inherited. Even though there was no mortgage, there was a lot they had to manage. Cooper went under a lot of debt from the recession. Finally, they agreed that Cooper needed to be in the next town to manage his business. He opened a branch there and it was doing good. However, as he could not pay attention to both the branches, both were getting doomed. He decided to sell off the branch he had in his town and moved to the other one to make it work. The decision was strategically correct and they were seeing the results. The financial conditions were coming back to stability. He came back every weekend and life was good. Quinn was pregnant, few months down later. They both were ecstatic. His brother, sister, and parents helped Quinn throughout. Quinn's family didn't really stay nearby. He could juggle between his responsibility as a father and maintaining the business, thanks to the support of his family. His twin daughters were adorable and he loved them. He spoke to Quinn several times about moving to the next town, but she said that it was comfortable in their home and the arrangement was working fine. He could focus on his work and she would take care of the children. It went for 4 years and the girls were growing up fast. They just loved their dad and everything was just picture perfect. Then, one Wednesday, Cooper missed his kids too much and decided to head home. He went on weekdays several times before but always informed Quinn. He tried to reach out to her phone, but it wasn't reachable. He figured some network problems and reached his place around 1 p.m. He silently walked into his bedroom and found his brother and wife together on his bed. He just froze there. He could not move or speak. He was in shock. Both of them realized and just freaked out. Quinn started crying, and his brother started apologizing. Both of them started saying it wasn't what it looked like. It was a moment of weakness and it was for the first time. But Cooper just went silent. He just could not say or do anything. Tears filled his eyes and he slowly left the doors to his car. Quinn rushed and tried to pull him into the house, but he just kept moving. He drove straight to the next town. His phones were spammed with calls and messages. He was just numb and didn't speak. Cooper managed to call his parents 2 days later. Apparently, his brother tried minimizing everything and said that he was just kissing Quinn and Cooper saw them. But Cooper told them what he saw. His brother wasn't doing much and mostly managing Cooper's work in the town. Cooper told his parents that his brother was dead to him and he would not see or hear him ever again. He still had to confront his wife. It was way too much pain for him. But eventually, a week later, he went to his place, because he missed his daughters. He saw Quinn who was a crying mess. She begged him to talk to her. Cooper told her that his brother has confessed everything and she needed to come clean. There was horror on her face. But she took the bait. She eventually told him that their affair started 6 years ago after Cooper left for another town. She felt lonely and it was only a physical affair, and they didn't have any emotional bonding. Cooper cut her out and said that he wasn't listening any more lies of her. She can go and have his brother, but the daughters will be with him. Then, Quinn dropped a bomb. She said that she is pregnant and they could rebuild everything. She can move with him to the next town and start fresh. But that's when something clicked in Cooper. He started crying. He was just broken and asked her whose child was this. Quinn fumbled and said it was Cooper's. But he didn't trust a single word coming out of her mind. He demanded a DNA test. Unfortunately, in those days, prenatal tests were not so common. So, they had to wait till the baby was born. But he decided to test the daughters in the meantime. His jaw dropped and the world collapsed when he found out he wasn't the father. Quinn was crying inconsolably. She saw how her selfish acts destroyed this man. He just went silent. There was no way his brother was owning up to his responsibility. He loved his daughters. He just went silent and asked her to leave his house once the baby was born. He gave her the option to find a place for her, and the daughters will be safe with him in the meantime. Quinn wasn't ready to agree, but she knew there was no coming back. After Quinn delivered the baby boy, he was DNA tested, and again Cooper was not the father. He kind of expected that. But it made his life easier. He could not file for divorce before the child was born. He did right after. He refused to be on his birth certificate. His brother didn't even show up at the hospital. He already moved in with another woman. Quinn knew what she had done. She became a single mother to 3 children at the age of 35. The bio-fathers of her children were not ready to take any responsibility and weren't even paying child support. Cooper loved his daughters and remained in their lives. But he was a different man after the discovery. He was distant from everything and everyone. He had trust issues and went for therapy. It hardly helped him for the first few years. He hasn't dated and married anyone till now and has dedicated himself to his work. His twin daughters are very close to their dad even after they were told the truth. They have moved in with their dad, as her mother could not afford a house for all 4. They visit her mother every weekend. She stays in a 1-bedroom crappy apartment with her son. She works at a local restaurant. Her son is growing up well, but he never gets the best of things like his daughters got, thanks to the child support. Every decision in life has consequences. But the sad part is that the consequences are not only meant for one party. Cooper only loved his family, but he was betrayed in the worst possible way. He would probably never recover, or it will be a long time before he once again enjoys life. He wasn't at fault, but his only fault was to trust people who were not worthy. What do you think about the story? Please share the feedback and your suggestions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to get a notification whenever a new video is uploaded. Please check the other videos in the channel too. Stay healthy and happy. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching.